aim to motivate and inspire viewers to enjoy the clothes they wear as an expression of their personality and their beliefs. This is the Slow Wardrobe. Come and have a look. Hello, welcome to episode 73 of the Slow Wardrobe podcast. My name is Linda and I am your host. In today's episode, I will update you on my current knitting progress. I'll talk about a more substantial repair on a layer cake, and then there's a layer cake section that celebrates some of the older designs within layer cake, and a lot of those are on sale at the moment on the website. And the section highlight is all made up out of products that are on sale at the moment, but the designs are ongoing designs. It's just that some of those colors are on sale. So it just shows you, again, hopefully some inspiration as to how to wear different layer cakes together, how to layer them, and how to play with your wardrobe. But first, my knitting update. So yes, I already posted a photograph of the jumper that I've started knitting. Well, it was just a photograph on Instagram of my knitting as you see it here, to show you a little bit more clearly where I am when it comes to my progress on the yoke. I've put the stitches on an extra cable so I can spread them out over the top of this mannequin. And the jumper is called Howling of Wolves. I'm actually getting relatively close to the point where there's going to be a line of howling wolves in color work on the jumper, so I'm excited about that. But what you can see here is the color work so far in the colors that I selected to knit that jumper in. I'll show you a picture of the original sample that is on the pattern here. And I wanted to stay with those cool colors. I think I've already shown them in a previous episode, and this is how they're playing out now that I'm knitting them together. So the colors are called, I think one of them is called Candy. I think this one is called Candy. This is Turquoise. I'll put the correct names at the bottom. And then that dark grey color. Oh, these are both Le Petit Lambswool, and the grey color is Le Cashmere and Lambswool combination of Biche et Bûche. As you know, one of my favorite yarns. And the shaping of this jumper is going to closely follow the couple of jumpers that I knit prior to this, so I have a slight A-line shape, and the pattern will make that really easy. I think this jumper again has quite wide cuffs, which I really like, and I block those out to give me that flare on the sleeves and at the bottom of the jumper that I really like. So far so good. It's got extra, let me see if I can turn that, not catch her too much. It's got extra short rows, German short rows in the back to make up for the next section. You can see that this is higher than in the front. That's my middle back point. And then in the front you can see that this little section is slightly shorter, where you don't have the short rows, the German short rows just at the back to make the yoke sit nice and even and not have the jumper tilt forward or backwards. So very happy with how the colors play together. They give me that icy kind of feel that I was hoping for. But when I got to this point, I got really greedy and started another project. The reason for which being that, as you know, I knitted that pressed flower shawl picture here using the Art Yarns Cashmere Ombre 2-ply. The cashmere ombre 2-ply is the really bright color, and then I mixed that with my own linen 3-ply in the dark blue color in that shawl. And I was so smitten with using those two yarns together. First of all, in the final project, what you really feel is the softness of the cashmere. But because of the way that the linen is knitted into the project, it gets a lot of structure from the linen, and I love the way they play together. So I looked for another project to do a similar kind of exercise with. Again, a project that uses mosaic knitting, because that's what captures the stitches of the complementary color and kind of envelops them in the stitches of the main color. And I got back in touch with Millie at Tribe Yarns. I've actually ordered more of the cashmere ombre 2-ply. I love it so much. It's such a wonderful yarn to knit with, and yes, it's very pricey, but boy is it worth it. So what she still had in stock was a hank of a color vanilla something. I'll show it here and I'll put the name down below, but that's the photograph of the yarn on the website. And what you can see is that it's all very, very, very pale colors. It's taking some pale pastels and then, you know, pale them down even more. There are tiny differences in color between the different colors, as you can see in the yarns. And the reason that I wanted to show you those two hanks is because the color difference is probably easier to see in that photography than it is on my current project. Now I'll show you a photograph of the sample of the project that I'm knitting. The name of the shawl is called Mare. I'll show it to you here. And again, it's a mosaic shawl. The main color of that shawl is a very dark gray, as you can see. And of course, my main color are these super, super pale pastels. And then the complementary color in that shawl is like a pale gray. And my complementary color is going to be white. So I figured that because this is so pale, any color that I add to this will pale those super pale colors almost into insignificance. So I thought, why not go in the other direction, and rather than adding more color, I'll add less color. So the white linen is not actually an optic white. It is quite a milky white. Compared to the yarn, it's quite white though, but you can see that it doesn't clash. It's not an optic white. There is a slight ivory in this white, and that's why I thought it'll give me just enough contrast for the complementary color and the complementary stitches to jump out of the work, but in a subtle way, without taking over the emphasis or taking away from the emphasis on the very, very pale color variation that is in the yarn. Looking at it up close, right here at the bottom and at the top is some very pale minty green, and then in between is a super, super pale kind of beigey tea color. And I've done another center pulling ball, so again I can't see what's coming up, and actually the color variations are so subtle that while I'm knitting I don't really see the color difference. It's once I've knitted a couple of rows in the new color that's come out, I'm going, oh my gosh, I've gone back to a greeny color. I'm really enjoying it. So I've only just started working with the linen in combination with the main color, so there's not enough there yet to show you what that contrast is going to look like. This shawl has got a broken rib stitch. It's a crescent shaped shawl. It's got a broken rib stitch that you knit into a crescent with short rows, and then you start working the outside edging, and that has all the mosaic in. I'll show you one or two photographs here of the original to give you more of an impression. But of course, I'll keep you posted as I go. And this past week, this is all I've knitted. So yes, I've made some nice progress on this one, but now this lunatic has taken over the asylum and I'm knitting on this. Of course, it's also really nice and small, so it's lovely to knit with the beautiful weather. So I don't know what I'll be doing yet this coming week. My gut feel is that I'm going to stick with this because I'm so curious to see how it works out. Here I've got the hang of, I've got my confirmation that these colors are going to work. So I'm going to work this jumper, no problem. I'm far too keen to have it as a finished project come autumn, but I'm not as much in a rush with progressing with this one now as I am with this baby, because I want to see that color work with that white. So in next episode, there's probably going to be a lot more progress on this one than there is on that, but I'm never completely sure. So that's been all my knitting. No more sock knitting, no more progress on socks. Of course, we're all padding around barefoot at home at the moment, so there's not a lot of motivation to do anything with socks. I'll get back to my socks again eventually, she said. I will. And but that's it for my knitting so far. And now for the next section, I will talk a little bit more about a more substantial than last time layer cake repair, hopefully to inspire you as to what you can do with your layer cakes to repair them and restore them. Yes, so a layer cake repair that is more substantial. I might as well take this off, and hopefully you can see here. This is one of the tulip dresses, the sleeveless tulip dress that we do, and the fabric that this dress is made in is the small check. Now, the small check combines lots of different colors, but it also combines lots of different weaving patterns in the different squares. So there are little sections, little squares that are herringbone, for example. There are sections that are twill. There are sections that are just a plain weave. So as a result, there is some difference in how those sections behave and how tightly woven they are. And what has happened here, you can see it by one of my dear customers, that the dress, especially on the side of her boobs, where of course you rub against with your arm, there's one section that almost in isolation of the others has almost completely worn away. Can you see that? It's just all that wear is in one section. And my guess is that that is purely as a result of that particular square being slightly less hard wearing than some of the squares around it. Because as you know, how hard wearing linen is has got a lot to do with how tightly woven it is. Part of my soapbox. And of course this fabric has got some variation in it, and sod's law, this is where the most wear has taken place. Now, when I showed you those high-lows and the repair that I did on those, and that just had that split in the back, because of the color of it and because of the nature of that damage, I was able to repair it by putting some fabric behind it and then just stitch over the top of it. I could go for something similar here. I could choose a similar color square and put that either behind or over the top, and then stitch it to make it as invisible as possible. Or I could go in the other direction and create strengthening, maybe on both sides of this dress, because here we have some wear along the edge here. So I could look at strengthening this whole section on both sides of the dress to make sure that it has a new lease of life. So I've been playing with different pieces of fabric and with different options, And what I'm going to show you in next episode is what the result of those repairs are. One of the things that I want to do before actually applying a repair is go back to my customer and double check that she's happy with the approach that I am proposing. And this kind of repair is not a repair that I want to start doing on an ongoing basis, but I asked her to send me this dress because it's such a good example of a dress that really could be given a proper new lease of life, even though the repairs on it are quite a bit more substantial than just a small invisible repair. And hopefully what I'll end up doing to it will inspire you to be doing the same when your layer cakes start falling apart. Now, another option would be, with a dress like this, to turn it into a dress. Of course, it could literally just be cut off at waist level, given a fold and a piece of elastic, and then you would have a skirt in a similar length to what this dress is when you wear it, and with pockets on it and everything. So it can always be made into a skirt if the wear on the top is too much, or if you don't like the idea of doing visible repairs around this area of a dress. So that's definitely one possibility. I will discuss that with her as well. But if she says, oh, and I really want to keep it as a dress, I just wear it at home, it doesn't really matter that much, please keep it in a dress shape, then I will do that and discuss with her how I will apply those repairs. So the outcome of this repair is going to be in episode 74, 2 weeks from now. And let me know what you think of it. And also let me know if you have specific ideas around a repair like this, and what would take your fancy when it would come to restoring a dress like this to at least part of its former glory. So that's it for now. That's it for the non-layer cake section. And off we go into layer cake. Enjoy. It is summertime in England, everyone. Well, it is in the south of England. It is scorching hot, and I'm actually thrilled to feel like we've got some real summertime. There are so many years that just seem to ebb by with like 19, 20 degrees and cloudy throughout the summer months. But my gosh, we have a scorcher on our hands. I hope everybody who is experiencing the hot weather is staying safe and is enjoying it as much as you can. I had a really great tip very recently, which is to, if you do want to sit outside when it's very warm, obviously stay in the shade, but put your feet in a bowl of cold or lukewarm water. Wonderful. Try it. I can really recommend it. Anyway, at the moment, there is a big layer cake sale going on, discounts of 20 to 30%. And in fact, everything I'm showing you today is included in the sale. I organize any layer cake sales by size. So if you know what layer cake size you take, then all you have to do is go to that appropriate size. This is all for the tops and the dresses. The trousers and skirts are listed separately, and all the sizes mixed in, because I think that is easier. But with the tops, I've got them all, the tops and the dresses and the play suits, they're all listed by size. Most of what I'm showing you here today are size 1s, but there are some other sizes mixed in as well, because as you know, you can play around a little bit with your sizes. And at the moment, I'm heavier rather than lighter. My weight tends to fluctuate. A size 1 is just about all right still on me, but I can get away easily with a size 2 as well. And especially in the summer months, that is quite a nice thing to do, to be able to wear the layer cakes really nice and loose. Now, you may end up watching this when that sale has long gone, and the emphasis of today's episode is not really about the sale, but about showing nice layers in the more established, if you like, designs that really put layer cake on the map, like the play suit, like the smocks and the tabards, etc. So that's what I'm showing you, some nice layers and some nice color combinations, and I'll just rabbit along as I do normally, and hopefully you'll find some inspiration in it. So talking about the heat and talking about staying cool in it, one of the advantages of a play suit that I just wanted to highlight to you once more. First of all, I'm wearing the regular length play suit, which is cropped on me. So if you are normally wearing regular or long length play suits, then you can go up one and wear a shorter version in order to have this cropped look, which of course keeps your ankles free and nice and airy. But if it gets really warm, then you also have the option of opening up a play suit and airing out that way as well, and just walking around with it like this. It just makes it look and sit on you like a dress, and it's nice and airy. Speaking of dresses, if I swap this play suit for a tulip dress, I'll end up with a very similar silhouette, and you can see how similar the shape of the two garments are. So if you own one and you like it, then you may like the other as well as an alternative. I'll show you. So here's the tulip dress in a size 1 regular. Just, you know, midway down my calf on me, as you can see. And like I said, similar in silhouette to the play suit. And if I then add a pair of baggies to that, especially if I go for the same color, then I've got that play suit silhouette complete again, but consisting of 2 garments rather than 2. Like this. Did I just say consisting of 2 garments rather than 2? I think the heat may already be getting to me. The studio doesn't really cool down very much during the night. It's north facing, and so it takes days for it to get really warm. But once it's warm, my goodness, the building really keeps the heat in. And because we are facing the road, we can't really open the front door easily because people will start walking in and we wouldn't know. So I've come in really early this morning to record this before the heat really descends. So bear with me. All these clothes changes, I'm starting to feel the effect already. So hopefully I'm not going to melt completely in the process of recording this. So like I said, if you go for the matchy, then of course it really looks very similar to a play suit. But of course you can, rather than matching the baggies, you can go for more of a contrast like this. So what I was wearing before was the long length of the baggies, and this is the regular length, cropped on me as you can see, and creating a slightly different silhouette, but it gives you an idea of how the cropped baggies work underneath the dress. Really effective as well, I think. And then of course I can add other bits and pieces, layer caking over the top as the temperature goes down, or I want to embellish this outfit even more. A good example of that is a tail smock. Let me show you. In the small check. Yes, small check and neutral check worn together. And doesn't it work? I think a tail smock is a fantastic way of making one of your tulip dresses or a love dress really sing for a special occasion, or just whether you want, when you fancy jazzing up your outfit. And you know, the frilliness of that flouncy skirt in the back, it's just so effective. So tail smocks, part of the current offers as well. And I'll keep going by changing different parts of this outfit to keep showing you the different ways of layering these more traditional designs of the collection. So why couldn't I get those words out? Right, let's keep going. And next thing to show you is a mini tabard. So this is one direction to take it in with a mini tabard. Keep the dress, keep the baggies, add the mini tabard instead of the tail smock, but I could have gone the other direction as well. Let me show you. Instead of removing the tail smock, I've removed the dress. So I only have one layer of linen down here. So this would be a great outfit if the weather is warmer. With the previous outfit, I had the dress on top of the baggies, which of course is quite a lot warmer because, as you know, my linens are not thin, they're quite substantial, and therefore you warm up quickly if the weather gets hot as well, or if you layer them. So if this is too warm, and even though it's all quite flouncy, you need less layers, then of course the tail smock can come off again, and you can go a little bit more minimalist with just the baggies and a mini smock. Now, if you like the mini tabard, did I say mini smock? Goodness me, bear with me guys, any kind of things that I say wrong, I'll try and catch them as I edit and correct them down here. I hope I can blame the weather and nothing more than that. Anyway, so if baggies are not quite your thing, then of course you can create a very similar to this silhouette by changing the baggies and exchanging it for one of the skirts. Remember the skirts? I'll show you. Super simple, nice and airy, and a little bit dressy in the black, don't you think? I think it's a really nice combination. Add a nice duster to that and, you know, good to go anywhere really. So if, again, mini tabards aren't quite your thing, but you like the look of the skirt, then of course you can wear other tunics with it, like this one. Trusty tabard in charcoal. See how immediately that elongates the silhouette and that point down, it just like get the statuesque kind of pillar-like look that elongates the whole outfit. And of course, again, you can add a tail smock to this. I'll grab a different color because a tail smock over a tabard is really effective as well. Keeping it really classic and classy with another cross weave where the charcoal is a black and grey cross weave. The red is a black and red cross weave, and of course as a result those colors blend beautifully and combine beautifully. Tail smock, tabard, of course this could be a smock as well, that would work just as well. And the skirt, I will go back to combining this outfit with a pair of baggies so you can see that as well and see how that does change the silhouette. The skirt going all the way down and being full length compared to the baggies, which have that curve in the middle and that roundish shape around the legs. I'll show you what I mean. Baggies in the pinstripe. I've got a couple of pinstripe garments left. As you may know, I'm out of the pinstripe fabric at the moment. I'm not sure whether I'm going to bring it back. I always have to weigh off bringing back existing fabrics compared to new colors and new designs. So I'm not sure whether the pinstripe is going to come back, but I have a couple of garments left and what I still have is included in that sale. So pinstripe baggies with the charcoal, and like I said, this tail smock also looks really good with a smock rather than a tabard. So let me show you that now. So steel smock with the tail smock. Two things I want to show you here. First of all, of course, the way the curves follow each other. I've got the curve of the tail smock, the curve of the smock, and then the curve of the baggies. And I always like how they look together and kind of follow each other's lines. But the other thing that I've done here is my tail smock is a size 1 and my smock is a size 2. And it's just to illustrate again that you can wear a smaller layer cake over the top of a bigger one, and because of the way they're cut and because of those armholes and the way they sit on you, that is not a problem. It's not going to look bulky, it's not going to be restricting in any way, it just works together. So if you've got layer cakes in more than one size, you can combine them, and often better than you might think. So have a go and see what that looks like on your body. I'm going to keep going because I've got a couple more pieces to show you. The one thing that I'm going to try next is to change one pinstripe bottom for another. I'll show you what I mean. And here we are. I know I've shown this to you before, but of course we've got the palazzos, which are the nice straight trousers. But this is another example of wearing a pair of the overalls underneath layer cakes to create that nice long line with the long legs, and then the smock, and then the tail smock. So overalls worn underneath layer cakes, and of course it doesn't have to be this substantial. I can remove some layers. I'll show you. Fabulous option for a summer outfit, I think. This is just the overalls with a tail smock. And you know, I'm like I've shown you before, I tend to wear bralettes. So if you can get away with a bralette, then that's all you wear with it. So I literally have bare skin underneath here, but of course that gets covered, those open sides get covered nicely by the tail smock. And then you've got a nice long line and the coolness, the looseness of the overalls. Size 1 overalls, size 1 tail smock. Fantastic outfit together. And of course you can then dress that up as the temperatures drop with like a white shirt, for example, or that smock that I was showing you before. But you could also go up in size with your overalls, and I'm going to show you that as well. But just before I do that, the other thing that I wanted to show you are the overalls with a mini tabard, because again, you can create a whole outfit without having to wear anything else with that, but it's a very different silhouette from the one with the tail smock. So here we go. Mini tabard in the blue crossweave with my overalls and the pinstripe. Like I said, lovely summer airy outfit, can be worn just like this, don't need anything else to cover up. This will do. And of course, if you are of the persuasion that you don't want to wear nothing on your upper arms, if you want to cover those up, then you may be better off just wearing a t-shirt or a little tunic with your overalls rather than a mini tabard. But if you like to have your arms out, this is a great option. So now I'm going to show you another layer cake hack, if you like, in the sense of playing with different sizes by wearing a much bigger pair of overalls and showing you that you can get away. In fact, the whole idea behind layer cake is to motivate you to wear different sizes, and in a lot of cases bigger sizes than what the smallest size is that would fit you. Like I said, I've got a size 1 here, but let me show you what happens when I size up in the overalls. And this is what I mean. These are size 3 overalls, and as you can see, of course, really loose and roomy on me. But again, I love the look. And I'm always trying to challenge you to not be stuck on how a particular size looks on a particular body, but to be much more free with how you wear them. That includes the mini tabard. I mean, look, I've got the mini tabard on, as if it's a little cami, as if it's a little singlet underneath the oversized overalls. And I can do that because the mini tabard is almost fitted around my boobs in the size 1, because like I said, with what my size is at the moment, they are nice and fitted. I only have like 1 or 2 extra inches there, so they fit me nicely around the boobs, and then just let them hang. But because of course the rest of the outfit is loose and wide and airy, and I can move just like with the play suits, I can just move in this, forget my body, not have to worry. It's like, oh right, am I standing up straight, how's my posture, let's keep my tummy in, all the kind of stuff that we're so conditioned to do, and that is just so unnecessary. We can take up the space that we do, girls, come on, and challenge yourself as to how you take up that space and how you dress and how you compare and combine your layer cakes to just be comfortable. That's what layer cake is about, to be comfortable, to be airy, not to overheat, and not to consciously have to be moving around and constantly have to think about how you're holding your body. You just inhabit it and get on with your day. So, size 3 overalls. If you think this is too much of a departure, going up 2 sizes, then go up 1 size. If you normally take a layer cake size 2, then try overalls in a size 3, and it may be quite the revelation. It's also rather nice to be able to just tuck your hands in. So, you know, I'm just being silly, but that's the whole point of layer cake, to look good, to feel great, and to be comfortable. So that's it for this time. I'll get back off my soapbox, and I hope you enjoyed this little revisit of the more classic layer cake shapes. The colors that I showed you were just the ones that jumped out at me, that are part of that sale. Not every color is available in every size, and there are other colors that are available that I haven't shown you, but I hope I've given you an impression and you've enjoyed my little rant. I'll see you again soon.